No, my comments weren't off. I didn't have any comments at all. I didn't have anything. I looked down. I didn't even have the ability to turn the comments on. I didn't have the little setting bar, the little, the little screw looking thing, Gamma, welcome in. So, gotta start this whole thing over, y'all. And I don't even know, Gamma, if you were saying something at all. Again, so I was talking about it, so I'm gonna go back over what I was saying a little bit. Gamma, if I know you probably saying something like again, I was picking back off. Let me welcome everybody else back in, y'all. I don't know what happened. I looked down and I had no comments. I'm like, I got no comments, and I looked. I didn't even have the little tube. Yeah, I had. It wasn't even. I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything, Gamma. Not even the ability to turn the comments on. I only had three little. If you look at the bottom, on the far right, you got that little squiggly little screw looking thing. I didn't even have that. So, and I didn't recognize. I kept looking like nobody's talking. Then I realized I didn't have my full live looking situation going on. So my apologies. Never, never would I not want to hear you guys' response. So I apologize for that. Good morning, Tess. So I'm gonna go back over, like I said. Good morning. I hope all is well. I hope everybody had an awesome night. Thank God that I have breath this morning. Had a great morning. Took Kobe for a walk. It was hot this morning. 6 something this morning. Went outside and muggy as heck, hot as heck, but got it done. Grateful and thankful. No need to always complain. I see what you're saying. I'm just saying that we couldn't comment, but we didn't hear the entire. But we did hear the entire. Oh, okay, awesome, awesome. So I'm gonna go back where I was, like, and dang it, I wish I deleted the first live. So basically, all the lives. So basically, what I was saying is that piggyback off your content, which y'all go check it out. Gamma's World, uh, from last night. Move, you move, how you move is how, y'all know it's move. Gamma, you can put down what it was. I don't remember the title, but it led to a very interesting um, content where everybody had their views and their opinions and how they feel. And the thing about it is, when you're and everybody comes from different experiences and different backgrounds and different ways they view things. And so understanding the fact is, nobody, I don't say I'm 100% right. I don't know everything. I'm only basing my opinions and how I feel based on my experiences, the same as Gamma, right? So when we talk about feelings and how people changing people, and the thing, and I'm gonna talk about what we see in the sector, because this is where I am, right? And so me, well, how I feel about it is, I go look at certain things, but how I respond now and react now, it's for my benefit, right? Why do you go look and see? Well, that's just, just want to hear what people talking about. Now, I would say, what's different now than 5, 6 months ago, when you used to come out and you used to battle? You want to go back and tell this and say how you feel, this and that. It's my approach to it now, how I look at it now, right? I get to still go look, but how I look, listen, and how I feel is how I'm going to let. How am I going to let it impact me? I can listen and I can dismiss it right now. I can just like, whoa, you know what? Heard it. No, God, I got this. I know what you're thinking. So, thank you, Granny K. Party favors. So it's how we all individuals. First of all, we all individuals out here. That's the first thing. We all adults out here, and we all gonna do things differently. But we don't know how every person is. We can't assume every adult out here, because we're a certain age, know certain things, know certain skills. You wouldn't believe how I carried on that. Hey, does she's skilled in communications. She teaches communication skills. She teaches effective communication, conflict resolution, relationship building. But when you hear me out here in the past few years, nobody would have never known that. Nobody would have never known that, hey, that's a therapist talking. Because I made choices, right? On how I was going to involve myself, react, and say certain things. Those were direct choices. Not that I didn't have the skills, not that I didn't have the cognitive ability. It was a conscious decision to come out and react. Some of it was just, hey, I'm coming back, or it was certain emotions that was uh, passion. Some of it was emotionally charged. So different reasons I came out, all different reasons, but all was by decision. Everybody don't have those skills. Some people, we would assume a lot of people got the skills that needs to make those decisions. Sometimes people haven't learned those skills. Sometimes people avoid those skills for whatever reasons. Either wasn't learned, avoid, or don't, or consciously choose not to use them, right? Or don't have the cognitive ability in order to implement, or certain things may be going on in people's lives. We just don't know. So it's hard for me to come out here and say boom, 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 right? Because I know for me, I know the type of person I am. I'm nosy. And know sometimes it may not be good. You go put your hand on the fire. Okay, now how are you going to respond to that? Now I've done taking on some things where I choose not to respond. And if I do, my approach will be a little different. It won't come out here and be name calling and going through that. If I have something to say, I'm gonna be able to express myself the way I know how, without having to call you names. I can address the behavior. I can address the behavior. I can have observations. This is what we are. We're in a sector. I'm allowed to make observational, comment. What I see, what are things that I can address. You don't have to agree with it. I'm not saying that I'm right, but I have observations. I can see, I can speak on it. How I choose to do it is the thing. How I choose to react, respond, or not respond at all, in which I've done pretty good. I've seen a lot, and I've chosen not to respond. I've seen a lot lately. Don't think I haven't seen things. I've chosen not to give it any life the way I used to. I choose just not to respond verbally. I choose not to say anything. What I do is keep it in front of God. Okay? I do that. And I'm able to do it. And I get the choice to do that. Even though I can listen to something, and certain things don't bother me, certain things, hey, you know what it is? It is. Those is what they feel. I can't choose that. I can't change that. I can't change how people feel. I can't change how people are going to behave. That's not what we can do. We can talk about the behavior. We can address the behavior, but it's not. I can't make it. I can't make you do it. Same thing I said earlier in my when I was practicing as a therapist. People come in the office. They come. I ask them, "Why are you here? What's going on?" When we finally get to start talking about the issues, what they're feeling, what they're going through, what do you think is causing it? What's happening? What may have led you to these behaviors, to these feelings? And what do you want to do about it? What have you done before? What works? What didn't work? What would you like to learn? How would this? It's so many things you put in people's hand, because you can't change anybody. That doesn't mean we don't get to talk about it. That doesn't mean we don't avoid it. Because a lot of times people avoid things because they don't want to feel things. They don't want to experience things. So we do a lot of avoidance. If we don't see it, we don't hear it, we don't deal with it, we avoid it. And a lot of times that's what happens. We have a lot of avoidance. And that's okay. A lot of people even know that they're avoiding certain things. They just don't want to, whatever it may be, subconsciously or consciously. A lot of times through the practice, we learn later on, what were you avoiding? What were these behaviors coming from? Okay, they were behaviors, and the behaviors may have been unhealthy. It may have been healthy to them because that's how they learned to cope with it. They didn't know what to call it. They didn't call it healthy, but it helped them to cope. That doesn't mean, I don't see the behavior. We don't address the behavior because we don't want to hurt somebody's feeling. How are these behaviors impacting you? How is it hurting you or helping you? All right, because behaviors are healthy or unhealthy, right? We have unhealthy behavior and we have healthy behavior. People that sometimes live life, they don't know the behaviors may be unhealthy, or they may know and they still choose to do it, right? And sometimes they avoid everything around those behaviors because they want to keep, because it's those behaviors are getting them through the day. Those behaviors are helping them, even though I can see the behaviors are unhealthy. They choose because that's how they have learned to survive. Okay, we call them maladaptive behaviors, right? Okay, those behaviors that appear to be unhealthy, interfering with your life, interfering with your health, interfering with your relationships with family. You've learned to live with those behaviors. Those behaviors get you through the day. But somehow along the way, something started to happen. You don't like them anymore. You're losing at work for a minute. Now you're losing friends. Now you're feeling something. You're getting older, whatever. What's going on? What now brings you? You have done this all your life. Why are you in the office now? What happened? Right? What happened? Why are you sitting? Why are you here in the office now? Because this is how you have learned to cope. You don't see them as unhealthy because that's what gets you through the day. Somebody on the outside can say, hmm, I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah. So those, hey, Chris, what's going on? Hey, Granny K. Good morning, Linda Caldwell. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Hey, Tilo. So again, we all going to have different views on where we are in life, how we learn these skills. So for me, when I talk about things, I talk from experience. And everybody else is going to talk from their experience. Not saying that I know any and everything. I don't. But I can only speak from my experience, my perspective, and my personal perspective based on experience, career experience, and life experience, right? Those are where my views are coming from. My personal experience and my experience through my career. Those are the combined things. And then things I learned here because we're still learning. We're still learning. Okay? Um, so we're still learning. I still have an open mind. I may be opinionated, strong views, but I can still hear you. I can still listen to you, and I can still disagree with you. And I can agree with you. And I can see your point of view as well. Doesn't have to change mine, but I can see why you may feel that way. Because it's based on your life experiences, your work experiences, your interaction with people, right? Y'all give me some feedback. I know I'm talking. What are y'all thinking? You don't have to agree, disagree, but what are y'all thinking? Because I think for me personally, if I look at this sector, I'm going to go say it again. A lot of behaviors that I feel that I see in this sector comes from, I'm going to talk about me again. My behavior in this sector, which y'all saw, good, bad, and ugly. A lot of it was, for me, conscious decision to respond, right? To respond a certain way. Whether it was emotionally charged, because somebody said something about a family member, whether it was direct and calm, or whether it was something. I'm not good at avoiding a lot of things. I'm not good at avoiding. Okay? At times I can be extremely passive aggressive. But for me, I've been called. What did Gamma say? I agree. Experience makes a difference. Yes, on how we look at things. Me personally, I've had so many comments on my personality. Some people say not combative. I could be aggressive in my communication style. I could be confrontational. I can also be. I've had so many different. Oh, I can be very tactful and purposeful and intentional. So it's different things. My how I apply things is based on where I am, right? How I am receiving the information, how I'm intaking, how is what you're going to get. Now, my mind is not right. I'm already emotionally charged. I'm probably not going to hear things a lot, and you might going to get this snap back. Then I got to go back and like fully listen because I'm already at a place where I'm not receiving it, and then I may already be emotionally charged. So what you got to say may not be landing well with me because of my emotional state. I got to take charge of that. Can't blame it on nobody else. But when you're able to think about it, go back. Why did you respond like that? Because of where you were, where I was emotionally, right? How I was listening to it. I didn't take the time to settle down and listen and make a date. I just got jump back into it, right? So a lot of times is where you are as that person, right? Listening to the stuff on the sector. A lot of us listen differently. Some people can listen and put the finger up and say F you and keep it moving, right? Some people you never know that's listening. They're listening, they never come down from the rafters. They listen, they know everything that's going on, but you never know. They're all over the place. You got people that's been in this sector for years. We don't even know that they're here. They don't listen to everybody. But have they ever came down from that rafter and make one comment? No. They know how to listen. They know how to keep moving. Now, does that mean that they don't have feelings? Does that mean that it doesn't that some things make them? No. It just they made a decision that what they've heard, they ain't got nothing to say about it. If they got something to say, they're not gonna say it in this sector, right? They're not gonna come down my chat to say it. They're not gonna probably go down somebody else's chat. They just exist. Doesn't mean that they don't feel anything. They just don't have nothing to say about it. Because I mean, feelings comes from humans. We can't. I know a lot of people can avoid feeling avoidance. They just become numb sometimes, and sometimes there's certain things in life just don't impact them at all. They either numb or they detach really well. They just don't not at all. It's not. Sometimes it's a way to defense mechanism, a way to deal with things in life. I can hear to listen, and I can easily just. But again, everybody's different. At my age, I'm at the point I'm selfish with my energy. I just keep moving. True, some people just keep moving. But how do you come and listen to some of the things that you listen to, Granny K, and just keep moving? Okay, 'cause a lot of times people don't know how to do that. You can go listen to several different content creators, ones you agree with and ones you don't. You can listen to it and not give any energy to it at all, right? Granny K can come listen to me. Sometimes I can go off on some things, and Granny K say, "Okay, that's how Justice feel today. That hey, Justice, I hear you. You know, I hear you." She can acknowledge how I feel. That doesn't mean she has to internalize it or make her feel a certain kind of way, right? That doesn't mean she has to internalize it. It doesn't mean it has to impact her day at all. She can come listen to me, probably talk like I'm talking now, and she's probably heard me go off on people. Granny K has the ability to say, you know what, I heard Justice, I hear what you're going through, but you know what, I can keep moving. That doesn't mean, Granny K doesn't mean that she doesn't have to understand how I'm feeling to keep moving. She don't have to, her energy doesn't have to be absorbed by acknowledging, I hear how Justice feel today. All right? That doesn't absorb her feeling. She can acknowledge that hey, Justice is angry. Justice is not doing, she's not feeling well today, or she's angry about something. Does that mean that have to upset Granny K? So Granny K is able to, hear me, probably understand how I'm feeling, but that's not going to determine how her whole day is going to be. That's not going to determine how her whole day is going to be. You know, I just say, Lord have mercy and move on. There you go. There you go. There is nothing wrong with that. Some people can go listen to everything in this sector and learn how to say, you know what, Lord, have mercy. Let me get up out of here, cut it off, and go on with the day. Okay? Conscious decisions. And then some people don't have those skills, and then some people have them and choose not to use them. You see what I'm saying? I just say, you see what I'm saying? So a lot of time it's going to be based on, I'm going to go back to what Gamma said. A lot of times, how we respond, react, and deal with things in this sector is going to be based on our experience, life experience, our age at times. A lot of times people our age should make us, no, 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 no. We're going to scratch that for a minute because we can't say that. We should. And I sometimes I come on and say age too, and should know better, be 150. But again, I have to reflect, not everybody, we don't know everybody's cognitive skills. We don't know everybody's trauma. We don't know everybody's coping skills, what they have learned throughout life. Because you best believe a lot of people get through life and never learned any skills at all that has impacted their livelihood. If you never learn effective communication skills, you never imagine not knowing how to talk and you wonder how people lose jobs all their life. Imagine somebody you work with right now, okay? Imagine at your age, you see somebody come on your job, 40, 50 years old, they don't know how to talk to they're coming on the job, right? They don't know how to talk to the manager. They don't know how to talk to anybody on the job. And you should look at them like, you too old for this. But guess what? They may have never learned that they may have never learned how to talk with people, talk with managers, talk with their coworkers. They may have never learned any type of work skills. What's the word? Interactive. What's the word I want to use? Um, oh my God! I get y'all know what I'm thinking about when I think about skills. The word I want to use. Um, oh my God! It slipped my mind. But the skills necessary to work with coworkers, work with your boss, work effectively. If they've never learned these skills, you're going to see that behavior. You're going to see that behavior even at an old age because the skills were never communication skills, interpersonal skills is what I'm talking about. Thank you, Grateful. They've never learned those skills. You see them on the job. You see them come in. They mad. They want to quit the job. They sit down. They do things that maybe you like. Ooh, mm, okay. You're going to assume that they should know the skills because they're a certain age. No, that's not always true. We all come from different places in life. And the things that we assume people should know, they may not know because they never learned those skills, or they choose not to use those skills, or they cognitively can't use them. I can be nosy sometimes, but don't out here, and I can ignore. But sometimes I have no problem to respond, but turn it off, and that is okay, Tilo. That's where I have come to, cause I'm nosy, and I have now chosen because I'm that type of person. I am that person, that personality. Like, oh, I'm coming for you. Oh, I got something to say. That's that personality I had to quail down, just bring it down, to allow me to go listen, to allow me to choose how I'm going to respond and not respond. Right? So I'm getting better at that. I've gotten much better. Cause man, you ain't coming out like that. I've learned to do that. I'll be having 20,000 things to do on, so I don't stay around long. It's just the way I am, and that's okay. I know you come in and that's okay, and that's okay. A lot of people, Like I said, they come in, they say hi, bye, and they move on with their day. A lot of people sit in the rafter and just listen, and they hit the like button. I've never seen them. I see their names, members only. I look at my members only names. They're names that are members only, and I have never seen these people in my chat, but they're members. I've never seen their name. Okay, I see you guys' name, but I got members that are sitting up in the raft. Thank you guys. Thank you all for holding your memberships, for getting the new memberships. I do have some. I have now. Well, I got like new members, and thank you. And I may never see you in the chat, but I know you're here for whatever reason. I don't know if you're friend or foe, and if you're a friend, thank you, and if you're foe, I hope you get what you need. Right? Thank you, Granny K, for 39 months. Thank you so much. So this is where I am. Granny K says justice level 2. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So a lot of times that personality of mine could have got me in trouble, but make no mistake, it's me, the choices I made, right? The choices that I made, conscious decision, whether emotionally charged, whether I had something to say because that's just who I am. But again, recognizing not everybody has those skills or those abilities. I can't come out here. For me personally, I had to sit back and say to myself, you are a great communicator. You have a lot of skills, a lot of different skills. I chose to do certain things that people may have questioned my skills. Okay, because how I consciously came out here and made the certain decisions on how I was going to react to certain things and things I was going to say, and I said them, right? But somebody said, "Oh, she got what?" Well, yes, she does. She's a very effective communicator. She has some great skills. I do. I'm patting myself on the back of all the skills I've learned throughout the years in life that have gotten me a long way in life. Okay? Even want to have a great rest of the day. You too, Granny K. So I'm well aware of all the great skills I have learned and experienced through experiences in life that I have. Right? And I know a lot of people have a right to be very thankful and grateful for the skills they have. I have a lot of skillful people out here. We wouldn't be here some of us wouldn't be this far in life and gotten this far in life if we didn't have interpersonal skills, if we didn't have the ability to go out here. But again, learning to address the behavior when we talk about this sector, name calling. If I don't know how to talk about your behavior and all I can do is name call, that didn't do anybody anyway, right? But I can address behaviors I agree with, behaviors I don't agree with, right? Some people may not like my behavior and don't agree with my behavior. I swear they do all kind of commercials these days. Why they got a commercial of a lady shaving her cootie cat right up to the line and hair going down from her cootie cat? Why are we watching commercials with this? We're not watching men shave their balls. So why are we watching women shaving their hairy cootie cat right up to the I'm sorry, y'all. That was just like, I can't believe that we're just putting anything on TV now, right? And wondering why we in the world we are today. I'm sitting up here talking to you. I looked up and the woman got hair going down from her cootie cat down her inner thighs. I'm like, and we got to watch her shave it. We got to watch her shave it. That don't make no sense. All messages, y'all. I had to make sure I went back and put all messages on. Let me see if I missed some things. I can't be nosy. Let's see. Soft skills are part of emotional intelligence. Okay. Soft skill is part of emotional. Hey, Chris, just seeing you right now. I had to put some. I know someone that lost every job she's been on, and I asked her one time, "Is it you?" Caddy, yes. Sometimes you have to do a self-assessment, and I have had to do that as well. Is it me? What is something I have to go back and look at something? Go, what is my part in it? Let me go take an assessment. What did I say? What did I do? How could I have done something different? What part did I play in it? You know, how could I have been more empathetic listening? How could I have been more understanding? What could I have done differently? So learning to go back and look at you and what you could have done differently, right? And that takes skills, because that takes you taking accountability and acknowledgement that you may have played a part in this. And it may have been a little part, but what part did you play? Right? Sometimes we just don't want to look at, hey, maybe if I did this differently, maybe if I had said this, what got me here? How did I get here? What part did I play? Indirectly or directly? Because we got to look. Sometimes our part we play could be indirect. We could have done something somewhere else. And it may have been somewhere else, but have a direct impact someplace else. So a lot of times we have indirect, right? And a lot of times we deal with this in the sector. Direct. Sometimes we have people dealing directly with people. Let's look at content creators, for instance. So a lot of times content creators go direct. We hear. A lot of time is that indirect. Somebody come tell you something. Some subscribers come share something with you. Your chat shared something with you. You had no knowledge. Or you may have gone somewhere to another content creator, hear what that content creator said. So things go directly and indirectly. No matter how we play with it, if we're in this sector, and if we're listening to people that talk about things that are going on in this sector, drama-wise, we're going to hear about it. If your name come up in it, you're going to hear your name somewhere else if it's not coming directly from that content creator. Or somebody's going to bring it to you. Now, how you deal with that information, directly or indirectly, is going to be based on you. You can choose, okay, I heard everybody say what they got to say. Man, it is. Or you can choose to come directly and address it, or you can become passive aggressive and do it. Whatever which way, you're going to make a choice, right? Completely ignore it, respond directly, or somewhat passive aggressive. Make a decision. But something is going to be done either way, right? Agree or disagree. Like I said, agree or disagree. Let's talk about behaviors. I talked about one of the behaviors that bothered me in this sector. And it does. And I'm here, I'm listening to it, but I can't do anything about it. So I've come to the conclusion people are going to lie in this sector. And they're going to lie no matter what. Now, I can choose to come out here and try to refute every lie that has been told on me recently, last year, the year before, all the lies. I can choose to come out here and and I can choose to come out here and bring out every piece of receipt to prove these people are liars. But I chose not to. What can I do? Because guess what? It's not going to change anything, right? It's not going to change one thing, me coming out here and trying to refute every lie somebody has told on me. It's not going to change them. They're going to continue to do it because it benefits them. So what is it going to do for me to come out here? It's not going to change anything. It's going to make me like, okay, what is it going to get for me? I'm going to let you continue to tell your lies. It's not going to bother me. I know the truth. So I just listen to the lies and say, okay. Can't do nothing about it. The lies are going to continue. And the people that choose to listen to the lies, they're going to continue to listen. They're going to either continue to add to it. They're going to continue to hype it up. And what can I do? Not a dang on thing. Am I going to let it take another moment, breath? No. No. I'm not going to let one lie that is being told out here on me take anything from me ever again. You understand me? I'm not going to take one lie. I refuse to get angry out here on the lies that people are telling. I don't say I can never will, but at this point in time, the lies that are being told, not, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Not gonna lose one drop of sleep over them. Not gonna lose one put of positive good things that are going on in my life over it. I'm gonna let them continue to lie because that's the only way they're going to survive. They have to come out here and lie and tell these lies that they're telling. The behavior, the behavior that we witness out here, I witness out here, I witness the behavior. It's nothing about me, it has nothing to do with me anymore at all. These people, the behavior that I'm witnessing out here has nothing to do with me. It's them. It's their behavior. I refuse to take them on that. I refuse to take it on. I refuse to allow them to change anything because they can't. So I allow the lies to lay where they lie. I can come in and hear it. What are they gonna do for me? What is the lies being told on you going to do for you? If you come out here and you try to argue again, I've done that, been there. I've shown proof. I've given the proof. The lies continue. So guess what? Let them lay where they lay. I just keep moving. And I smile and I keep moving. That's it. That's it. And that's all. Y'all still here? Cause I don't see nothing coming through. Y'all still writing? Here. So yeah, I mean, how do y'all feel about when you hear lies? How do you deal with lies that are being told? If you hear a lie on you, whether here or on YouTube, how do you deal, whether on YouTube or how do you deal with lies that are being told? And what if you had a family member or friend that continues to lie on you? How do you handle that? What do you finally do? You can cut them off, but you have people like, this person, you may have a friend, you tell your friend not to talk, I don't hear nothing they got to say anymore. Or how do you deal with the situation here, off YouTube and on YouTube? Because it's two different things, right? How do you deal with lies that have been told on you at YouTube? And then how do you deal with them if it's people off YouTube, like family members lie on you? Now with family members, you can easily deal with that directly. You can address them, and then you can, talk about it, get an understanding, and then you can decide how you're going to move with that. Okay, that's an investment. Family and friends are investment. Real friends and family, you got time invested. I look at things that, is it worth it? Because if I put a lot of time into things, I'm going to see if it's worth saving. Find out what's going on, right? If I've invested my time, I want to figure out what's going on, right? Let me see what y'all got to say. I know people are gonna lie. That's their issue. I don't care. 90% of the time, I'll never know because it's most likely someone I don't have nothing to do with anyway, says the Gamma's World. More likely, yeah. 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 So Gamma says she's just doesn't. I know people you're gonna lie. I don't care. 90% of the times I never know because I'm most likely someone I don't have anything to do with anyway. Okay. But what about the time when you do know? What about when somebody tells you what's being done or said? How do you deal with the situation when you hear in this sector or even off the street that someone just said a lie about you, or they're talking about you and they're still lying on you? And you don't even look at them, but the information is being brought to you some kind of way. How do you deal with it then? I mean, in this sector, how do people deal with things that are brought to them, and they know it's a lie? How have people dealt with that in the sector? What has been the reaction or certain behaviors that we see when people get information back and they know it's a lie? How do people respond? What is the response? I feel like I want to respond and let everyone know these are lies, but most of the time I ignore it because I'll be back and forth, and that's way too much. Somebody tells me, and if I know it's a factual, then I can cut them off and I keep going. Okay, okay. So, and the natural thing for me sometimes, and I understand what Gamma's saying too. The natural thing for me sometimes, uh, Tilo, and you saw, was for me to come back and try to refute the lie. Listen, this is a lie. Why you're lying? You know, and yeah, I done that. Listen, you're a liar. You're lying. Okay, you did this. You said this, and it is a back and forth. But learning to now say, you know what, people are going to lie, and is it worth it? Because we see in this sector, there are people that know that the truth about a lot of things. They've seen it in the sector. They've seen the truth. But it but if you're walking with a person, if you are going to sit with a person, you're going to allow that lie, and it's not your place. You don't have to call everybody out when they're lying. But if you're sitting there knowing it's a lie, you you know the truth, but yet you tend to promote the lie. Because the only reason you're promoting a lie is because of the person that you rock with. The behavior is to say, I'm going to support them in that lie, is because they don't like that person, and then I don't like that person right now either. So instead of me being able to say, you know what, I don't like that person, but that is a lie, that it really ain't true. I don't like them for this reason, but what you're saying is not really true. I mean, I don't have to like them, but I know better than that. I know that what you're saying is not true about them. You can choose to say something or do nothing. But if you choose to, it's a difference for me when I see people that know it's a lie engage in a lie. I think that's different for me. That's what's different for me, is when I know. Some people may not know it's a lie, but the people, what got to me, and which I've gotten better at, is the people that know it's a lie, when they engage in the lie, when they promote the lie and know it's a lie. See, there's a difference from not knowing it's a lie and you just supporting the person, from you knowing it's a lie and then you engaging in the lie. I understand why you would come back out, but I really didn't want you to do respond. I thought you were too good for the back and forth. And you know what? At that time, that's where I was. That was that's still my personality, but I've learned to quell it down because I need to protect me. In the end, I needed to protect everything around me and about me, and I would rather lose. And I have everything on this YouTube channel with the people that stay here with me right now. I really love you guys. Thank you guys. But everything that went about before February of 2026 that is gone, I am so grateful and so thankful. I'm so grateful and so thankful for everything from March, February. Anything before that is gone. And I am here now, and that's where I'm truly grateful for. You know, you have to lose to win. And that's how I look at it. I lost and I won. Sometimes you have to lose to win. And I consider myself a win. All over there, all over it, I won in the end. I won. I won in the end. If a person is a liar, I don't see the point in going back and forth. It's what they do. I let folks do what they do. But Gamma, that's true. But not everybody responds like that. I mean, it sounds good, but human nature, sometimes people will come back and want to and will say something. I've seen when people lied. I've seen you respond when somebody has lied on you or have said something. We do. We may not always do it like everybody else, but if it's according how it may, it maybe according to what the lie is, maybe according to what is happening. But a lot of times, I think as human beings, we are going to sometimes respond if somebody's lying on us. I think it's just part of our human nature. And I think it's how we respond is one thing. I can come out here and call you name and call you a liar and cuss you out. Oh, I can come out here and just prove why you're lying. Or I can address why are you lying on me? Why are you saying this? What did I do? Or I can do it indirectly by I can do different ways I can choose to respond to the lie. I don't have to do it directly. I don't have to come out here and do how justice used to do it. Um, I never. Hey, thank you. I'm a whole vibe. I never thought I had lost. I just kept telling you that times that it was a blessing. I think it. I lost and I win. I call it a loss and a win. Still a blessing, but I acknowledge the fact that I lost. But the loss was a win in the end, and then a blessing, recognized as a blessing, right? When you look at something, you look at it. Oh God, I lost a lot of subscribers I didn't know I had. That was a loss. That's the truth. It was a loss. But in the end, it was a blessing. And in the end, I still win. Semantics. We can call it semantics, right? I still win. That's how I look at it now. I still win. Loss, blessing, I win. I still win. Okay. No, everybody doesn't. I'm just saying. I thought you asked how we feel about it. I always thought people think differently. I can't respect that and move on. Yeah, people do think differently. Everybody do, and I don't. And again, we all think differently. We all feel differently. We see things differently. Nobody. I'm not right. I see things differently. I have a different perspective. Not calling anybody wrong. I guess how I don't know how I say things may be a certain kind of way, but again, I'm not dismissing anybody how people address things. I may let's see. No, everybody doesn't. I'm just saying. I thought you asked how people feel about it. Okay, I did. I did. That's true. I can't tell you what a loss is to you. I know it's my situation was a blessing to me, and it was a blessing to me as well. But I acknowledge that I did lose something. That's what I'm saying. Even if it was a blessing, I acknowledge the fact. What I'm saying is that when you look at it as a blessing, you'll still acknowledge that, hey, that loss was a blessing. That's what I'm saying. Again, semantics. Again, semantics. A loss is a blessing, right? Sometimes the best thing you look at, you may have lost your marriage, you may have lost certain things in life, but it turns out to be a blessing. I can acknowledge there's stuff that happened, but still in the end was a blessing. I don't think it's wrong, right, to see things that may impact you a certain way. Um, loss of a marriage, loss of a relationship, loss of anything. Sometimes you lose money and it was a blessing. You may look at the money at the time, oh my God, I lost all this money. But in a way, it reshaped you. You see what I'm saying, where I'm going with this? When I look at the word loss, I've lost a lot of things in life. And a lot of times I question that loss, but in the end, it ended up being a blessing. It ended up rebuilding. It ended up transitioning, transforming. So I acknowledge the loss, so I can know, hey, that loss, that time that I went through, the things that I've had, is a blessing. At that time, I may have not seen it at some things as a blessing immediately, but it is a blessing. I acknowledge it as a blessing. Because sometimes when you lose a job, you lost a job. You may got called into the office and lost your job. They brought you in and they told you, and all you see at the time, I lost my job. And it ended up setting you up for the best blessing ever. That's what I'm saying. That's true vibe. I feel like sometimes I may feel like I was waste time and that I can't get it back, but then I also believe I have to spend time to learn lessons that will. We're saying the same thing. Then that's exactly what we're saying. That's true. I can't tell you what the law says to you. That is true. What did Vibe say? I mean, y'all got to go back and see what did Vibe say. I'm a whole. My family was just lied on for not attending the family reunion. I couldn't care less. Okay, so so Vibe. So your family was lied on for not attending the family reunion. You couldn't care less, so you're able to just say, dismiss that, like, hey, y'all just lie over there, just lie and move on. Some people are able to do that. They don't give a damn. Lie. I ain't gonna never talk to you about it, right? And that's how some people move. Let them talk. I ain't got shit to say, but somebody else may say something about it. But I may never say anything about it. But I'm like, they ain't come. They gotta talk about it. I ain't got nothing to say to them. Okay. Time is something you can never get back. And that's one of the things we talked about about time. You can get money back. You can get money back. But the time that I put out here, good, bad, or the ugly, I can never get back. Time I've wasted on, I'm going to be real. The time that I wasted on certain people, certain things in this sector, certain caring about a lot of people, because I am human and I generally cared about a lot of people and still care about a lot of people in my sector. That is it. I don't know everybody here. I've never met y'all personally. But do I care about you? Yes. Because you have interacted with me, you have shared with me. We spent a lot of time here together. So I'm not going to sit here and say I never cared about you. Even though I've never met you face to face, I do care because some of you have become very vulnerable to me and I've been vulnerable to you. You shared things that you didn't have to share. You talked about things you didn't have to talk about in my in this, on this live, as of today. So yes, I developed caring, care about a lot of people, and I care about you guys, and I cared about a lot of people before. And I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people come here. I don't care about nobody because I don't even know them. I'm not like that. I actually, when I start to care about people based on what they present to me and who they show me who they are, I care about them. I care about Gamma. I care about Tilo. I care about you guys. You guys talk about. Y'all have spent more time. How can I come out and say I don't care about you all? How can I come out here and say I don't care about you all? When you guys have given me your time, shared your stories, listened to me cry, and I guess I've listened to some of you cry because some of you told me you cried. How can me as a human being say in the end, I don't care because y'all ain't nothing anywhere. Y'all ain't nothing but subscribers. I don't see y'all. I don't know nothing about y'all. I can't say that. I can't dismiss y'all like that. That's why I say, that's why I took a hard line when that situation took place. When we talk about betrayal, and we'll keep it real, I want y'all to listen up. And a lot of people probably won't understand this. Do y'all know what betrayal feels like? Anybody know what betrayal feels like? When you care about something, do y'all know what betrayal? Anybody knows the definition of betrayal? Okay, I'm gonna keep it real with you all. And a lot of people may come back and like, you got too much. Yes, I have invested 5 years in this channel. I have what is called a social media platform. There have been people that have been riding with me for 38 up to almost 40 months, investing their time, coming and sharing their stories. And listened. And I shared my stories. And I shared more than most some people would. Not me, I'm talking about me to back and forth with you all because I have the ability to speak and talk and get my words out where you guys are typing. So, when you care about people and you listen to people and you hear their story and they empathize with you and they shared with you and they act like they care. See, my caring and is not an act because truly I care until I don't have to care anymore until you give me a reason not to care, right? When you care, but and that happens, and that's how and we understand sometimes your cares are not reciprocated, but then people fake their careness. That's when I feel betrayal. Okay, and I felt a lot of betrayal, not based on. I felt betrayed based on the lies that were told. I felt betrayal based on how things and people say, "Well, you can't." Yes, I can. These are my feelings. When you invest in people time, you can never get back. When you invest in listening, truly concerned. When you show true concern of Tila, you coming here. If I thought someone was something they were not, I take that as a misjudgment on my part. I accept that and try to do better judgment. But I understand how you may feel about that. I look for me personally. I look at people as individually as human. I can't box it like that, Gamma. I don't. I can't. I just. I cannot. I just don't box it. I can see what you're saying, but I look at each person, and for me personally, I just can't box that up in a box like that. For me, um, if I thought, can you read my last two comments? Let me see. Let me go back. If I care about people as long as they care about me, the very second they show me that they don't care about me, I have developed a mechanism within me that will immediately have no see. And Gamma, you said that you have a defense mechanism. Now, you have a defense, and now that came. Your defense mechanism is based on your experience, things that you went through, your life experience. You have learned to put a defense mechanism up that will immediately allow you not to give a f at all. And you said that word at all, and that's Gamma. That's not me. Okay, not even at all. If I thought someone was something they were not, I take that as a misjudgment on my part. I accept that they tried to do better in judgment. Oh, that may be as well. But a lot of times, I'm not going to look at a misjudgment as a misjudgment for me because I take people how they present themselves. If you're telling me you're this, and I truly believe that you are what you're presenting yourself as, and then you're something else, I'm not going to take all of it on me because you have a part in that as well. And we can talk about it because you played a part in that misjudgment in leading me to believe you were something else than what you were presenting. So we're going to both take part. I can say maybe my discernment may off and I didn't catch all the cues, but you also played a part in that as well. I can also say that person played a part in the deception as well. Because that was a part deception. That was not misjudgment. That was deception on that person's part. You can't misjudge if somebody is being deceiving. If they're not telling you, If they're not showing you something and if they're telling you everything and you're a type of person like, listen, this is what you see. I can't meet you in person. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you tell your stories. I'm connecting with you because you connected me. Some people connected with me on a level of experiences, loss of a loved one, family members. So when you come out here and you talk about the family members you've lost, you talk about the things that we've lost in life. You connected with me in a certain way, even though it's not a connection of Facebook. I related to you with that. So now I made myself a little vulnerable and I shared a little bit more. You were being deceiving because had you really weren't trying to connect with me. You were here for other reasons. So now I got take a part and then you play your part. My experience have always looked on other outcomes but I learned from. I literally have experience that messaging with people. It's what I was born with. My mom has been trying to figure that out. Okay, Gamma. Okay, grateful day one. Grateful day one, and it doesn't matter how they supported you. I could have all been with malicious intent. That's just how my mind works. That's true, and not dismissing that as well. Yes, I was on my job 34 years. I couldn't understand why she always had issues with people on her job. Of course, she never thought it was her, says Caddy. Most definitely, Caddy. Sometimes you gotta look and see your part in it. What part do you play in this? Okay? And because if you had all the problems, if every time, because a lot of times, look at the common denominator. What is the common denominator in some of the situations? It has to be, if you got a common denominator, then you got to look at yourselves at some point. It's like, look, it's like at a college. If that professor keeps having problems with people not failing his course, right? Do you know they look at that professor in a minute? Now wait a minute, hold up. You got all these students failing your course. They can't pass. We're gonna start to look at you in a minute. What is the issue? We're gonna look at the students, but now we're gonna look at you at the moment, right? Yes, I can take all the blame because I'm going to what presented to me, but then I figured out all the lies, but you didn't. But that's not on all. It's not all on me. Yeah, it's not always going to be on me because again, is what I'm taking what you presented. I can only read what you're typing. I can feel what you're writing based on what you're saying. If you're talking about your loss of a loved one and you're acknowledging my loss and you're saying things that most people would say and we're connecting because now you're identifying certain things that you went through. This is my experience, right? I tend to say, okay, I understand. I have empathy. I can experience. I hear what you're saying as well. We have some connection based on our experiences. I guess, yeah. So we have some connection based on our experiences, right? But the portrayal comes in when you take that information and you use it against me. That's the betrayal part. When you take what matters to me and use it against me. And that's off YouTube and on YouTube. You take what I shared with you to use against me. That is the betrayal that matters to me. And that's human for me. That's how I look at betrayal. I share something. That's even in relationships with people, even with friendships. The worst way I look at betrayal, you taking something that I give and destroying it, using it against me, trying to hurt me with it. That is betrayal. And that happens here and that happens in real life. Okay? That's how I see it. I get that. Till I get that. My mind stays on me. I'm too busy worried about myself to keep my focus on what other people's flaws, misshapes, or whatever. People have a right to be what they want to be. I can find people I can align with. Okay, okay. I guess that's works how Gamma works, right? I'm nothing wrong with that. That's Gamma's way of dealing with life, and there's nothing wrong. We all move through things differently. We all What how Gamma moves and deal with people is completely different on how I deal with people. Is Gamma around? That works for Gamma. What works for me works for me. Okay? How we all. I'm not going to uh, say Gamma's around how she does things because that's how Gamma is Gamma. This is what make Justice or Rhonda Rhonda, right? So how Gamma and like I said, there are people aligned with Gamma and how she feels and may move. Then people may move the way I move, and that's nothing wrong. Oh, you move how you move. There's nothing wrong by how we approach each and everything on this sector. There's nothing wrong. We all come from different ways. We came out the womb, came out the different, and we develop differently. And our life experiences put us where we are today and how we deal with each other, right? It happened in real life. That's what I expect out of people. I expect that out of people. Let me see, read that again. It happened in real life. That's why I expect that out of people. Okay, your experience happened in real life, and that's why I'm assuming what you're saying is that happened to you in real life, and that's why you have that expectation. That's why you have that expectation out of people. Yes, that's how life works with different thoughts, opinions, and experiences. That's is definitely right. And how we approach those things based is going to always be based on our experiences, our different experiences, our different upbringing, our different belief systems, right? How we approach everybody in our chat in life in general is going to be based on how we are as a person. How I see betrayal, y'all may see it differently. How y'all see loyalty, I see it differently. It's so many different ways each of us see everything. But again, let's see here. Make sure I don't miss anybody. So basically, like I'm saying, we're going to move through life differently. And when I talk about betrayal, I talk about it in a different sense. How I put myself out there, and then like again, lies, lie. I felt betrayal through lies, through just taking information that I shared on YouTube, and then people that I thought supported me. I'm gonna be real. People that I thought supported me based on interactions, taking the information that I shared that was considered hurtful to me and then using it against me. Right? If I shared these things hurt me, or these things bothered me, and this is what means more to me, and then you take that information and then and that is where a true fuck you to the end will always be. Okay? That's where the true will, and it's when I tell you, even though I felt betrayal, even though it doesn't mean betrayal, doesn't mean that I'm still there. Okay? That doesn't mean, hey, it's always going to be ever, never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever will ever have access to me again. Ever. And I've done that outside of YouTube. Just like Gamma, you said, there are people that I've cut completely off. I cut completely off. You can pass me on the street. And I've told y'all that. I walked into a restaurant. Friend for years. Betrayal. And this person kept trying to connect with me, back with me when I moved back to Charleston. And when I came to visit, I told them, looked at them, walk away, walk away. That wasn't enough for them. I came home to visit my dad. We went to the American Legion. I walked in. They went, hey, so smiling. I looked at them and looked like I didn't even see them. Looked right past them. They looked at me like, oh, you thought 5, 6, 7 years? Forgiveness, whatever I may be, don't allow you to ask them anymore. I can look right through you and never deal with you again. And that's exactly she. I looked at her. She smiling and stuff. I looked at her, looked right at her, and let her know. I don't have any words for you. I didn't say a word to her. I looked at her and looked away and went and sat down. All she could do is keep looking over there. No, you have nothing. There's nothing you could say to me. I don't bother you. I don't talk to you. I don't bother you. You just exist. Live and let me live. That's it. And that's how I can do that. I can walk past family members that I have nothing to do with. They can be right there. I ain't got nothing to say. No, I've never had that happen in my life. You said people portraying life. I said yes. I know it happened in real life. So no, wait a minute. I know. Maybe I'm reading something wrong here. No, I've never had that happen to in my life. You never had. No, I've never had that happen in my life. You said people betray in life, and I said yes. I know it happens in real life, so therefore I expect that. Oh, okay. I just know people move differently in life. I know that's how the world works before I could ever encounter it. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I've experienced betrayal. I experienced betrayal in relationships. Uh, I've experienced betrayal in friendships, and I've experienced betrayal on YouTube. Okay, I've experienced betrayal. I know what betrayal looks like, and I know what it feels like, and then I know how I handle it as well. I think, and that's part of life. That's part of life. It's just not everybody experienced it, and may have not experienced betrayal, but you know, I don't know what betrayal looks like for everybody. How people define betrayal. I probably, like I said, my definition of betrayal and how I look at betrayal and loyalty is probably a lot different than a lot of people. And sometimes it can maybe be the same. It's just like I said, we different. People are different, and it's always going to be based on how we look and view things, different perspective. Um, I'm not saying I'm right. All the things I've done and made decisions I made, and I'm not saying that everybody is wrong. I, you know, we're all different people. We come from different places and different parts of the world, and um, so like I said, and this is a great, and I hope having this conversation today, talking about betrayal, talking about the different things that we talked about. I hope everybody take a little something from it, and the differences and where we come from and how we express ourselves and how we feel about things. And this is where, like I said, we can have these conversations. And I appreciate Gamma input and how she feels. Gamma is very strong in her feelings, and as well as she knows I am. I appreciate that. I respect Gamma and her views. Take nothing from her and her views. And the thing is, we just understand that we move differently. And I think Gamma said it. If she didn't say it more, we all move differently. And then we tend to move toward people that more align to our views, even if it's different. I can move with people that can be independent thinkers, right? Allow me to express myself and be able to come back and talk. If Gamma leave here today and we had our difference of opinion and how we approach things, anybody that sit in this chat today, I would expect you to I expect you to say, you know what? I agree, disagree. I agree, disagree. I have my own views. I want you to come back. I don't want people to leave her thinking just because you I would expect if you disagree with me, If you feel different, however you feel, whoever you support, come back. Because we need the engagement. This is what makes the world go around, y'all. If we all were one way thinking, we would never grow. We would never learn new things. So come back. Don't hang out because, oh, justice say this and justice say that and justice no. No, this is justice opinion. Uh, yeah, some people look at betrayal differently. Certain things may people may not feel betrayal. People look at loyalty, betrayal. Some people look at what values. Betrayal may be based on your values, right? Betrayals may be based on how you look at people, how you look at things differently. My values, how I look at people, you may not look at that person the same way. Would you have expectation from one person? You may not expect that. See that you may say, "Fuck that." Excuse my language. If one person betrayed, so you feel one person did you wrong, you may like, "Hey, I don't care enough about you. You just do you." But if you really, for me personally, if I cared about you and you do something wrong, I may look at it as betrayal. You can be that person that do something wrong to me. I may look at, hey, you just another person in the street. Don't have nothing. You, I don't. We ain't that deep. But if I feel that I've developed something, a connection with you, some kind of way, however slight it may be, and you do something to use something against me, I may look at it as betrayal. Somebody else may look at it as F you, move along, right? Uh, Yes, I think the world issues are not always because people think differently. The problem is because we don't respect our different. You correct, Gamma, and I think that is 100% correct. We don't respect the differences, and a lot of time is because of lack of understanding, not wanting to understand, fear, lack of being able to put yourself in that person's shoes at time, empathy. Lack It's just so many reasons why we have issues in this world in general, and sometimes it's not learning to understand that person, not getting to know why that person has a difference of view, even though you don't have to agree with them. Not that communication, that lack of communication and lack of understanding that somebody is going to be different, and do not fear that difference, right? If somebody, we look at it, come from race, finances, so many reasons in this world why we have the issues we have, and it's based on just not understanding, not knowing there's more to that person than this what you see on the outside. You may see a skin color, you may see a financial difference, you may see an educational difference, you may see so many differences, but just because they're different than you, you don't give that person a chance. You may look at the difference in appearance, but it's so many different things. But that lack of respecting the differences. And then what does respect look for other people? A lot of people don't. How do people define respect? What does respect look like for you? What does respect look like for me? What is your respect level? I may have a different respect. It's so many different things that come into play. And that's what makes the world go around, right? But I think if we begin with this, the respecting people and who they are, just that mere respect. You're different. You see things different. Yeah, respecting the difference of people. I think that's it. I think respecting the difference. But this conversation can go on and on and on, because when we get to the respecting the difference, What does it look like from there, right? Even though we respect the difference, how do we move once we respect the difference? What does that conversation look like? How do we move on? I wish it was that simple. I wish it was that Sometimes I wish it was that simple. But then because we're dealing with different people, different mindsets, different it's so many things, Gamma, that comes into play before we even get to the word respect. Sometimes people even get to that. Somebody look at you and turn you off right then and there. You don't even get to know the person to even show them respect. A lot of times people just judge you from a distance, and you never get the opportunity to either learn to give them respect or show respect, because people don't give you that opportunity sometimes. I mean, it would be a perfect world if we ever got the opportunity just to sit down and say, before you make that judgment, before you disrespect me based on from a distance of what you see, talk to me. Respect the differences. Understand that we may not see things together, but if you're doing it from a distance, I never get an opportunity to make that impression. I never give you an opportunity to make the decision whether what you want to base your disrespect on or your respect on. So many people get disrespect out here and never done anything but just listen, right? We see disrespect come to people that are just listening. Just because they're in the audience, they get disrespected. They just sitting there listening, and there's a level of disrespect, and you never heard that person say a word. Or you may hear them agree with certain things, or you may see them liking certain things, and then there's a level of disrespect already out there. Never giving the person a true opportunity at all, just based on one thing, sitting in the audience and just merely agreeing with a particular situation. May not be agreeing with everything, and then the disrespect comes out. Don't even know. All of a sudden, you got 30 people disrespecting you, saying things about you, and you did nothing. You did nothing. Hello, Justice and everyone. Hey, who's that? Anil Furman. Hey, Kendra, how are you doing? How are you? And that's the other part of it as well. You know, people not giving people opportunities. You can't say anything. You can't do anything. And sometimes it's just like, I don't want to hear nothing again from you, you know? But that's just what it is, y'all. But I'm about to, hey, Diva the boss. What's up, Diva? How you doing? I'm hanging in there, says Kendra. Yeah, so, but the best thing about this sector here is definitely a sociology and a psychology paper, right? Sociology and psychology paper could be written from this sector, I tell you that much. Based on relationships, and this is a social, um, definitely a sector that you can be a case study on. Definitely a sector. Um, but again, like I said, I welcome everybody back. I welcome anybody that, you know, if we don't, I just want to offer people this. We can learn to listen and come back and talk about things and have conversations. We gotta learn to have these conversations, um, and leave feeling heard, leave feeling like in talking and listening to, and I love it, um, and I want to continue it. I like it. I love the conversations. I love people to come in and say what they have to say. Please, if you feel that, I don't know what to tell you how to feel. Feel how you feel, but just know that uh, your views and is respected over here. My respect, me talking and giving my feedback, or whether I agree or disagree, doesn't mean I disrespect you. I just mean that sometimes we have a difference of opinion, we have different views, we have different experiences, but I still respect you. Uh, and I think that's how I feel. Okay, um, okay, that's how I feel. I want people to come in and don't have to agree with me. Don't have to, we can see things differently. We can approach things differently, and you can learn from me, and I can learn from you. I welcome the learning experience. I welcome listening and learning as well. And I hope y'all appreciate and say the same thing over here. You know, um, yeah. So definitely want you guys coming in and giving your views and telling me how you feel. And if I come back and however it is, just know that I still respect you, and I hope you respect me the same. I because I'm strong in my views, and but it doesn't mean that I'm not learning. Doesn't mean I'm not hearing what you're saying, and doesn't mean I won't go back and reflect on um, on what's said. Because I do go back and I do think about what people had to say and what Gamma Miss said, what Tilo said. I do this do go back and reflect and take something from it, and probably uh, look at things. I have to go back and take a look. I don't just you know I think about how what was done and said in my community chat today, and if I can post something and it could ease my mind and maybe a different approach or just listening, even if I take a little nugget from what was said today and it can impact how I deal with people. Like I said, a lot of times I said before and I listen differently and I don't feel the way I used to feel about a lot of things. And it kind of adjusts me on how I looked at people in different ways. So these conversations, these interaction is not going to leave me stuck in one place. Okay, all things. I don't want to feel stuck in one place. So I take from a little bit from everybody that has something to say, and I reflect back on it. I kind of go back and like I said, I kind of think about what Gamma said, what Tilo said, and if I can take something from it, if it's anything that I can take from it that will help me become a better person, because I'm still learning. I want to do better. I want to become a better person. I want to be out here sometime and come out here and give my opinion, whether I agree or disagree, whether it's healthy or not healthy. I still want to come out here, but I want to approach it differently because I want to have, I want to be in a place where I can come out here and you guys can use, y'all have a platform to come out, and you don't always get that in a lot of different chats. My chat or a Gamma chat, y'all people come out and they get to, and probably Diva's chat, people get to come out and say how they feel, and don't have to always run with the and agree with the content creator. That's independent. That's thinking independently. That's a welcome. It brings growth to the channel, and if it's done respectfully, it could work. Much respect from me always. Always enjoy getting. I always enjoy trying to get an understanding. Most definitely. So we can take things from different people's channel. Kendra has a channel. David the Boss has a channel. Well, follow up these content creators. It's Gamma's World, Granny K. Who else is in here? So everybody gives something differently. Diva has a way that she expresses herself. Loving Lucinda has a way that she expresses herself. Gamma have a way. Justice has a way. Fee has a way. We all have different ways of how we express ourselves and see things. And people may disagree, right? We got so many content creators out here But we yes, it can work, allow us to see things from a different perspective, and that's the thing. That perspective is the key word. That perspective is the key word, because we all going to say things and agree or disagree things based on our perspective, based on how we see things. I'm not going to get mad, okay? But we acknowledge there are unhealthy and healthy things. How I see things as healthy or unhealthy, y'all may see things differently. When I look at me, I look at what is unhealthy about your behavior. I have to look at me first. What was healthy about your behavior? What was unhealthy? Trust me, it starts at home. The centerpiece is me first. What is unhealthy? What was unhealthy? What was your part? What is now healthy? What can be considered unhealthy? I have to start at home base, right? So, yeah. So we start at the front. We start at home, and we kind of start where we at. Centerpiece. What me? What am I willing to accept? What am I going to do? How am I going to respond? What is my reaction? And if I want to go and react, what is the gain? Is there anything to gain from this reaction? What are you going to gain from it? There's no gain. What are you doing it for? How are you going to do it? What do you hope to gain from it? What if it doesn't go the way you want it to go? Okay, it may not go the way I want it to go. Right? The chances you take to come out here. Right? I've been doing this for about 5 now, and I still haven't perfected it yet. But I know where I want to go, and I know where I'm not going. You know, and then I'm going to choose my reactions, and I'm going to choose how and when I want to respond. And I'm still going to acknowledge that I am a human being and I have feelings. So I can never say I may not come out the bag on this sector again one day. I hope not to. I don't want to, but again, it's always that human part that, you know, something, but again, that will be a decision that I will make if I want to, if I choose to. Um, so yeah, Kendra, y'all catch Kendra on her late night roundabout. I think, yeah. So I think I got everybody. And I appreciate y'all. I was here for an hour and 33 minutes. Appreciate you, Chris. Appreciate you, Tilo. Appreciate you, I guess, Diva, the boss, and Kendra, and Anel Furman. Y'all know I go through It's Gamma's World. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate all your feedback, Tilo. I can't take all the blame because I'm going by what presented to me, but then I find out all the lies about you. That's not all on me. Yep. Yep. Yes, I was on my job 34 years. I couldn't understand why she always had issues with people on her job. Of course, she never thought it was her. Common denominator. Even in relationships and friendships, you always got this friend that fight everybody, never get along with anybody, and everybody, yep. Who's the common denominator in this situation? Grateful day one, and it don't matter how they supported you. I could have all been with malicious intent. That's just how my mind works. Yep. My experience have always looked on others' outcome to learn from. I literally have experience pastoring with people. It was what I was born with. I literally have an experience bad situation with people. It's what I was born with. Wow. I just read that. Yes, I literally haven't experienced bad situation with people. Wow. Now that's a strong statement. But, Then Gavin says, I literally haven't experienced bad situation with people. I've experienced a lot of bad situations with people. Gamma, so many people have misjudgment the character, people who had ill intentions first day one. Gamma, so many people. Yeah. Can you read my last two comments? If I thought someone was something they were not, I take that as a misjudgment on my part. Okay. Tilo. I'm a whole vibe. I have bigger and better things going on in my immediate family. Good vibes only. Says I'm a whole vibe. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm just reading back through before I end this live because it's going to be gone. Granny K, thank you so much. Y'all check out Granny K. And Caddy, thank you so much for your input as well. Caddy says, I know someone that has lost every job she's been on. And they probably been going through the system, never learning, never. Yep. T said, thank you, Tess, for that high five. Thank you. I can listen and not give energy if something disturbs my soul. I cut it off. Most people have that capability immediately. I'm learning to be that way. Granny K says, Chris. At my age, I'm the point I'm selfish with my energy. I just keep it moving. Most definitely. But you guys, guess what? I appreciate you all. Thank y'all so much. And once again, this is Justice Reacts, y'all. And I'm gone, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Be blessed, be awesome, and be the change you want to see in the world. And I'm up, out of here, y'all.